Hey folks, David from Sunday Sounds here. Today's video is a little bit different. I want to talk to you about the Tonic Pad player in the Sunday Keys app. Now, we first announced the Sunday Keys app in spring of 2022, and it was a surprise. Folks didn't know this was something that we were working on. It was so fun to be working behind the scenes, planning this for so long, building it out, and then being able to just announce it one day out of the blue. And since that time, late spring 2022, I think it was in May, all the way up until now, one of the core features of Sunday Keys has been the Tonic Pad player. If you're not familiar, Tonic plays an ambient pad in the key of your choice at the touch of a button. Just simply select the key, turn it on, and you have this sort of musical, subtle background ambience in that key that's not going to clash with anything that you play. Now, from May 2022 to now, the Tonic Pad player has become a vital part of many people's keyboard rigs. Every time I play live, I use Tonic to fill space, to cover transitions, and just to thicken up my sound, and it does a great job of that. Tonic features 12 different presets, each with a unique ambient pad sound, from very basic, like a warm pad, to shimmery, to organ, guitar, strings. There's some really beautiful presets. But you've always been limited to just those 12 core preset sounds. Until today. Today I'm really excited to introduce you to the all-new Tonic Pad player, only available inside of the Sunday Keys app. Let's hop over to the screen and explore it together.
So let's start off with something familiar, a tonic pad in the key of C, and what has always been preset 1, warm. And I'll just play a little bit of piano over the top. Change keys to G. All very familiar up to this point. Now let's open up the new Tonic Pad interface. Here's where you can start to notice the differences. We'll talk about the layer area on the right side of the screen in a little bit, but for now let's just look at the presets, which are in this column on the left side of the screen. You'll find a variety of factory presets, and all of your favorites are here. They've been rebuilt for this new version of the Tonic Pad to give you all of the new flexibility and control that we're going to cover in today's video. And there's some new presets too. More to talk about with presets in a little bit. For now, let's just grab a new preset. You hear that smooth crossfade. So each pad preset can contain up to 4 individually mixable layers. Those take up the right 2/3 of this display. And you can adjust the volume of each. So you can bring this down and just hear this basic alter call, which is sort of the bass. You can bring that down. Got a bright layer here, another bright layer with some alternate voicing stuff going on. We'll talk more about voicings in a second. And then another layer. So it's the combination of these layers that makes any one pad preset unique and really delivers an incredible new way to take control of the ambience and how the Tonic Pad fills space in your band. Let's grab one of the new pad presets that's shipping in this version of Sunday Keys. Right out of the box, factory presets range from simple, static, warm, just gluing together the sound of your band, to more noticeable and melodic pad presets that fill more space and add some motion. But they're always designed to sit underneath whatever you're playing, so even though this dreamy preset has more going on, I can still play right over the top of it with a piano. And again, you can adjust the mix of these layers as you'd like. So if we want a stronger sense of melodic motion, we can bring up this layer, or if we don't want that at all, we can take it down. We could also replace this layer with something else entirely. You see, the new version of Tonic doesn't just ship with new factory presets, but with tons of layers you can choose from. So we tap the left side of the layer here to open up the layer menu. And you can browse from all of the factory pads that are shipping in this new version of Tonic. And of course, we're going to be bringing more layer presets to you over time, but for now, you could just select one of these options like Wispy Waves, and then bring this back up. So just one change, swapping out one layer, can take a pad preset in an entirely different direction. So you have an unprecedented level of flexibility here, but we're not done just yet. Notice the top right corner of each layer has this voice option. This allows you to take your mix, the mix of your pad preset, to another level of detail by choosing from different voicings of the layer itself. So right now we're on the mid option. Let me bring the volume of these other layers down. We'll just focus on this one string sound. Watch what happens when I choose the low voicing. High. Octaves, which includes low, medium, and high octaves. Second, which includes the 1 and the 2 played in sort of a back and forth alternating cadence. This is unique for every individual layer, so they're always going to mix together in interesting ways that are still musical. Then we've got a melodic option for most of these layers. This introduces passing notes like thirds, fourths, fifths, and even the occasional seventh. When you start to get into these more melodic voicings, they're really designed to sit on top of a bass layer, which is playing that mid, low, high, or octave voicing, because then it sits on top and adds some melodic interest and a bit of tension and movement. And then lastly, some of you are going to be very excited, we've also introduced the option to have a minor voicing. So right now we are in the key of G, and this is sort of implied to be G major. If we choose any of these options, low, high, octaves, mid, it's not actually defining major or minor, but most of the time people are going to perceive it as major. If you choose minor, all of a sudden it goes in an entirely different direction. So we could go here to the reverse piano, change this to low, because we really want to define this now as a minor key pad. You can mix that a bit more subtly if you don't want it to be too aggressive. And you can just see how easy it is to dial in the sound you're going for without needing to make really complex sound design decisions, but getting really musical and interesting results. So now we're back in sort of implied major. Now we've gone in a completely different direction than the dreamy preset we started with, so we can save this as a new preset by tapping Save as Preset in the top right corner. And we'll choose Video Demo. Now when we do this, the preset is saved to our user presets. So in the Tonic Pad presets on the left side of the screen, we can select our user library, and then anytime we'd like to, we can get back to this pad preset and pull it into any of our worship set lists. So now let me show you some of the new pad presets that are shipping with this new Tonic Pad release, because all of the staples that you're used to if you've been using the Tonic Pad for a while are here, including choir, dark, guitar, organ, pure, reverse piano, simple, strings, and I've already showed you warm, and we even have the old legacy classic for those of you who have been using Sunday Keys for a really, really long time. But each of these core presets have been broken out to now give you that 4-layer and multiple voicing flexibility. So even the presets that you already know and love have been given a new lease on life, where you can take really detailed control of their character. But there are new pad presets that we've shipped as well. So let's start off with this one, Evolving. Heavenly Shimmer. Let's take this to the key of D. Illuminated. Lunar Layers. This is a really fun one. Let's go to the key of A. And tweaking these individual layer levels can really make a huge difference in what you get, so you can go more or less subtle, more or less motion, really simply and easily. Here's Regal Mood. Shimmery Air. I'm going to swap this out for a felt piano just for fun. This is the new mini piano. Of course, you still have brightness and shimmer controls as well, so you can bring the brightness down if you want. Add a touch of shimmer. Patch lock still works just as you'd expect, so you can dial in the settings you'd like. And then any patch lock patch will automatically and smoothly recall those settings, including everything you see on screen and the pad preset you dial in inside of the main screen. Our last one to show you is Very Swell. This one's a little bit guitar-y. Go to the CP80, also new in Sunday Keys recently. Bring the shimmer back out and the brightness back up. So as you can see and hopefully hear, this new version of the Tonic Pad gives you flexibility that's just never been possible before inside of Tonic. It's simple to use, and we are going to be delivering new pad presets and layers in every monthly update to the Sunday Keys sound library inside of the Sunday Keys app. And to be clear, this is only available in the Sunday Keys app, because this level of flexibility and customizability just isn't possible anywhere else. Now, I want to stir up a little bit of controversy here. I'm going to open an old wound. I'm going to go to the key of D. I want to show you how you can dial in something for more more tenuous songs, specifically the song Revelation Song, which many people say is in the key of D mixolydian, but other folks make an argument is actually in the key of G major. It just happens to start in D, so that would be like this. So that's playing this with a D major pad going. We could try playing this in G, and you'll see why a lot of people lean towards the D mixolydian approach when it comes to this, because if I play under this G pad, it doesn't feel good right here. It clashes on that D chord. Everything else feels okay. And the G feels great, because that pad is resolving to the 1, if we are actually agreeing with the premise that the 1 is G. Argue in the comments. You folks love to argue in the comments. But here's what I want to show you. So in the past, we'd probably have told people to play a D tonic pad for this song and just kind of keep it light in the mix and acknowledge that there might be a bit of tension. But that's always been a bit of a compromise. Similar to folks who've wanted to play songs in minor keys, we've always said just play the relative major, it's close enough. But now we can actually play this pad in G and then adjust the voicings so that it sits a little bit better across every chord. So instead of this low voicing, let's go up to the high voicing and see how this feels. Because now we're kind of taking the bass layer out of it and just having this be high air. We're going to do the same thing for guitar harmonics. I'm going to choose high here also. So a little bit less movement, which is what we want. And then I'm also going to choose guitar harmonics. And rather than this melodic voicing, which is really going to drive home, this is in G, this is in G, we're going to choose the second, which means we're going to get G and A only in some sort of slowly oscillating movement. So now we have 2 layers playing the second. Now we don't want these overlapping here, so I'm going to actually pick a different layer. We will go to Hazy Shimmer. And then I'm going to choose the second here as well. All right, so now the pad is in G. I'm going to close the screen so you can see this. We are in G right now, but see how this feels as we play Revelation Song's intro in what many folks would say is sort of D. There is still a little bit of tension when you hit that D chord, but it's sort of pushing you to resolve almost that A minor, and then it starts to feel quite resolved by the time you get to C, and then G makes perfect sense. Now we can mix this down a little bit, bring in my acoustic piano as well. So I'm not saying you have to play that song in G if you're playing it at all, but I think it's just an interesting example of the kind of flexibility that's now possible for your ambient pads that just wasn't possible before this release. Let me give you another example. We're just coming out of Christmas season, many of us, and we're playing Christmas songs, which is the one time of the year where we get an exceptionally high number of requests for minor tonic pads. And it just wasn't possible before. We'd always tell people to use the relative major. So if we were playing O Come, Emmanuel in E minor, we would have told people to play it the G tonic pad. But now you can actually define an E and then choose a minor voicing, which is just going to give it this little bit of flavor. So if your church plays songs that are truly in minor keys, you now have the ability to support those with the Tonic Pad as well. You have loads of flexibility now inside of Sunday Keys with the Tonic Pad that you never had before. And I'm so excited to start shipping new pad presets. Those will be arriving in the Sound Downloads Manager in the Sunday Keys app starting next month. So stay tuned, it's going to be really exciting. Leave a comment with new pad presets that you'd like to see in future Sunday Keys updates, because now that we have the ability to customize the Tonic Pad in this way, our gears are turning about what we can give you that you've never been able to do before. Leave a comment and let us know what you'd like to see first.